your torch and dip it into the sexy St. Jeff candle. No Buffs is back. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, along with my fellow tribe members, two guys who could go down as the greatest podcast duo ever. It's Trey Kirby and JD. Could go down. How are you guys doing?
Great now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how things play out, but to be perhaps amongst the greats of all time, that's nice.
That may have been a kiss
Very
of death,
nice.
though, for you guys.
Exactly right.
Exactly, yeah.
We are here to recap episode 12 of Survivor 45, titled The Ex-Girlfriend at the Wedding. Shout out to the live tribe for joining us right now on YouTube. Take a second. Hit the like button. Smash that. Make sure you subscribe. Comments are flying there in the live tribe. Everybody weighing in on last night's episode and what's going to happen in the finale. Love to see that. Podcast listeners, we didn't forget about you. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on those pod platforms of your choice. Your Apples, your Spotifys, your Podbeans. Help us out.
You do reviews on Podbean, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know
probably.
if Podbean still exists. We're out here looking for Podbeans.
Hey, we're looking for Podbeans.
Okay, we are recapping episode 12, the penultimate episode. We start night 21, gentlemen. Awkward silence back at camp. And Julie's, saying, I don't blame you guys for trying to take me out. Her using the idol, Austin's idol, to save herself, tipped off by Dee. But as expected, Julie and Dee are pretending to be pissed off at each other. We were excited to see how this played out. Did it live up to your expectations and their acting abilities to pretend that, they weren't working hand in hand?
I don't know. Did it work? Dee herself was like, I don't think I'm that good of an actor. But it felt like Drew was kind of buying it, but also not buying it at the same time.
Yeah.
Like buying it enough that he had to accept it. I don't know. But what I do know is that this very first scene set the table for just a delicious episode. My first note in this entire episode, Dee is lying to Austin, but he wouldn't lie to her.
Yeah.
And look at how things went the entire way here.
Yeah.
Incredible episode. I thought.
In my notes, I wrote after this first scene, well, it's either Julie or Drew going home tonight, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. And then it quickly becomes, we know it's going to be one of those two as it goes on. So then it's just down to, is Dee going to tell her boyfriend really what's going on? And is Jake going to do anything with that idol he eventually finds? And will Austin do something with his amulet idol, which we are reminded, JD, in this scene is also good for just the next vote. So those were that's all we were waiting to see here. And it ends up being no, she won't, no, Jake won't, and no, well, yes, Austin will play it, but not for it.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought the silence, the awkward silence, was absolutely delicious. I did think that the acting was good. I feel like I've seen in the past, players who go, okay, we're going to pretend to hate each other, okay, right? And then as soon as the other person starts to act like they hate each other, it's like, well, what's going on? You hate me now. It's like, no, I'm just acting. I mean, I can't think of a specific example, but I feel like that's happened before in the past where they just forget that we agreed to pretend to hate each other. But they lasted all night. I mean, I bought it. I loved the tension of Julie diving on the Reba 3, the other 3.
And nice tackle.
Yeah, totally. And there's just this amazing shot of Drew. Like he catches the brunt of the tackle and he's just like, get off me. So, he's so fucking mad. And it's like, how many boards of Monopoly has this guy just flipped, right? Like, you're the one who went after her and she blocked you fair and square.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck you, Julie. You're dead to me. You're like, she will be a perennial outsider now because she went against the plan of getting her out. It's just like the temper on this guy and just how angry he is all the time. Like, they're talking about how, oh man, if Drew gets to the end, he's going to win. I'm like, really? Because he's just such a, you guys were watching a deleted scene and I was just listening to this guy complain about everything.
He's self-aware, at least in that deleted scene, to I am like this.
Right.
I've got a bit of a temper, or I just can get a little frustrated and I voice my concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And great on people.
You know who wasn't acting great was Drew when he's like, well, I had to swallow my rage and talk to Julie the next day. It's like, okay, man.
He was so bad.
So yeah, in this first scene, we also have Dee lying to Austin about not telling Julie, and then she doubles down and also says the same to Drew. I mean, this right away was Dee like, I am not going to tell Austin especially that I told Julie, hey, you better play your idol, and all the votes are coming your way. Spicy. That's fun. It's great.
She's such a good liar. She
Yeah.
had the lies early on with Julie and J Maya, right? Where J Maya, for whatever reason, is like, I will be the one who said I did the vote. And she's like, okay, you be the one who said you did the vote. But the thing with Dee is she never overcomplicates anything. She says her lie and then says nothing else.
Yes.
You're not doing too much.
Yeah, and even in this pretend acting to hate each other, I thought that's how you play it. You just don't say anything.
Right.
Say anything.
You just sit there like in sorrow or frustration, or you just the more you say, the more likely it is someone's gonna be like, you're acting. Because they're not actors, really.
Right.
These are real just people.
Right.
It's like when that one guy,
just
what was
stay
his name?
quiet.
His name was Josh. And he was like, he didn't want anybody to know he was a physician, but like kept chiming in about like the best way to care for your feet. And they're like, okay, man, yeah, we get it. You're a podiatrist.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, just don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
And I also wrote down, JD, you brought up that scene where Julie, rolls up on the beach and throws herself there. I almost thought Julie was breaking character in a weird way.
A little bit.
But I guess like she's coming at it from a different side of things. Like, haha, I'm still here, guys.
Yeah.
Remember the good old days?
Yeah.
She throws on them where Dee has to pretend like, oh my God, I tried to backstab you. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
And I think it's sort of a way of releasing the tension on her part.
Yes.
That rings true of what, I mean, that's what she was trying to do.
It's true to character, too.
Right. And
for someone like
don't
Julie.
forget, 2 days ago, Drew and her are sitting on the beach literally crying about voting each other off. And now Drew's fucking pissed. I love it. I just love it so much.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of angry Drew in this episode. Day 22, we jump to Katura. Gets up early. She's thinking, there's got to be an idol back in play. Julie just played one. Right thinking. She couldn't find it, but she was out there early, digging around, looking through the trees.
She
And then
slipped on her sneaking socks.
Yeah.
She's just in socks. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, good point. And Dee and Austin pop up soon after her, and they're looking around, doing the old head count. Oh, Katura's not here. Well, we know what she's doing. We better get out there, too, either to see if she finds it or maybe we find it ourselves. We get this Austin sneaking up on Katura. Scares the hell out of her. Like, he was suddenly right there. She literally jumps, and then she says she's lost. What? You've been out there
You know how I get
3
lost.
weeks. Yeah. And but then she quickly admits, she's trying to find it, and tried to spin it, I guess, into we can't let Julie find it. We just tried to vote her out. She played one, so trying to do us a favor, man. But that was just a funny scene. And then Julie wakes up and talks with Drew, and this is where, we get Drew haphazardly telling Julie that, the Reba 4 can get back together. We can stick together. Let's vote out Jake.
I can see it working.
Yeah, and Julie says, I'd love to get the band back together, and Drew calls it a reunion tour. I mean, you want to talk about bad acting. Drew pretending that he was on board getting the Reba 4 back together, and Julie, for that matter, was like, oh, God, no, this ain't happening.
Yeah, they couldn't put the toothpaste back in the bottle. It didn't seem here, and you're right. I mean, for as much as Julie was trying to smooth things over, for as much acting as they tried to do when they got back, Drew wasn't having any of it and was still going for her after all. But one thing that stuck out to me this episode, because there's a lot of Drew in it, why were his earlobes so dirty? The entire season. His body didn't look that dirty, but just always gobs of dirt hanging on his earlobes.
On Drew?
I didn't notice that.
So weird to me.
I wish you grabbed the
that.
screen
Clean
grab.
enough, but just dirty ears.
Julie, his mom, should have told him to clean behind his ears.
buddy.
That's a classic mom move. Dee tells Julie that she had to swear on her own mom, about not telling everyone about the vote there and how that went down. But they seem to agree that Drew is the mastermind, JD, and that Julie and Dee are laser focused on Drew. And again, I have in my notes at this point, my new prediction, it's still either Julie or Drew going home, but holy moly, Katura and Jake are probably going to decide who goes home.
Yeah.
That didn't really come to fruition, but thoughts here.
I just was thinking about if I ever go on Survivor, just getting back to Katura, getting up and sneaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody day one, guys, FYI, I'm a big sleepwalker.
Okay.
I sleep. I'm not hunting for anything. I may
Don't say that part.
Well, yeah, but okay. I'm a terrible liar,
The
obviously.
one thing I'm not doing is looking for idols. Trust me.
But you put it in people's head that this guy just sleepwalks. I used to have a camp counselor who would sleepwalk and shriek in the night. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, it was unnerving, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
But if that was my thing, if I went on and said, guys, sometimes I scream in the middle of the night and sometimes I'll just wander off.
Yeah.
And then they wake up and they go, oh, JD's not here. So, but I'm of course looking for him.
Or you have to commit to it, obviously. Guys, I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I get up mad early because they almost were like tipped off like, well, she's not going to
She never gets
pee
up
or
this
something
early. Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like she never gets up early. It
Yeah.
was pretty apparent that she's one of the last ones maybe out of the shelter.
Yeah.
And suddenly here, when an idol's back in play, she gets up. But if you always leaned into like, no, I'm an early riser.
Early
He's like,
riser.
he's up walking around again. But I like your sleepwalking
Yeah,
idea
I
too.
feel like it would be. And the other thing, I was sitting next to Jackson when I was watching this, and I was like, if you ever go on Survivor and you don't swear on my name when you're lying, I will be so disappointed.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yes.
You have to. I think Dee's mom is fine with it.
Well, I loved when she even in confessional, she's like, I'd swear it on my mom, I swear it on who else. Like, don't worry, they're all fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
they're fine.
It's $1 million.
Day 22, reward challenge. Do a barrel roll. We're gonna get on these barrels here, and sort of, what would you call that?
Walk through a maze slowly.
Yeah, on top of the barrel.
Right, yeah.
As you
Roll through a
select
maze.
keys, roll through a maze. Look cool.
I liked it.
Yeah, it
I was into it.
in a new one from what I can
Mm-hmm.
remember. And you got to get these keys up on these ropes that you're using to help cross. Nobody fell.
Surprisingly.
I mean, Drew almost fell.
Yeah.
But he stayed up there because I think Pro said you fall, you go back to the beginning. Like,
Right.
that would have really stunk. Like, what, you got to roll that whole thing back and then get
guess.
back up? Yeah. But they all make it through that part. And then you get to this little slide puzzle. And Austin had a pretty decent lead. It was him and Drew getting there first. But in the end, Austin pulls it out. Any notes on the reward challenge? I know we'll get to, obviously, who he picks, but the actual challenge itself?
Felt like a rare blowout win, actually. Like, Jeff called it afterwards. He's like, Austin, leading the whole time.
Yeah.
Went through the puzzle pretty easily. Nobody fell. They had the extra guardrails where I guess they did this one in the past once upon a time, but it was just walking on barrels. Way more dangerous. This one was...
Right.
I thought it was a great reward that they were able to go on,
Yeah.
but kind of a boring challenge.
Yeah. Austin putting the keys in his mouth?
That was strange.
Yeah, because they had like a little thing you could put around your wrist. I think he put the last one around his wrist,
Right.
but had 2 stuffed in his mouth.
It was getting pretty full.
Yeah, exactly. I like Julie during the challenge yelling, "This is awesome!" She's having a time of her life up there. And that was it. We can get to the actual picking here. JD, unless you have any notes on the...
No, I liked the challenge. I liked the Katura at the very beginning. She's like, "Why are we here in the water?" And the answer is to make your feet slippery as possible to roll on the barrel, I would imagine.
Probably.
But there was sort of like, it was pretty rough, and they're all having to crouch on these individual rafts, and then they jump in the water and they just walk.
Well, I got
in.
worried. I'm sure everybody did, going, "Oh no, Katura's
Yeah.
out there on this little thing. She's gonna have to jump in the water."
Yeah.
But then it was like
it was just
1 foot of water.
Yeah.
Waste
Yeah.
of water.
Yeah.
Wasn't that big a deal,
Yeah.
nor did she make it a big deal.
No.
Okay.
No.
And they were playing for an afternoon picnic on a sand spit in the middle of the ocean. Yes, a sand spit, not a sandbar. They are 2 different things.
Yeah,
I had
apparently.
no idea
Yeah.
there were so many different land formations in the water. Names.
Yeah, they're really-
Tombolo. Just found out about that one.
Oh, wow.
Connect an island to a mainland with a straight piece of land. That's a tombolo.
That's a
Okay.
tombolo. Well, they were on a sand spit, at least according to Probst. And you got to take a helicopter ride. So Austin wins, like we said. He gets to pick 2 people. He immediately picks D. No one seems shocked by that.
Nope.
But you get to pick a 3rd wheel, and Austin picks Katura. And he talks before picking her, like this whole idea of like, my next pick here is not about who I want to come on this reward. It's like
Right.
who I want to stay back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thinking. Maybe don't say it out loud. But
I respect the hey, we all know what's happening.
Yeah,
here.
I guess.
I guess, but yeah. I mean, otherwise, he doesn't really have a huge connection with Katurah. I mean,
No.
if he doesn't pick Drew, he has to sort of explain why. And I think it's a way of signaling to Drew, hey, remember, buddy, I'm leaving you behind
Yes.
because you're in charge, sort of thing.
Yeah, and he does say, Austin, I think in a confessional right around here, he goes, look, Drew, Julie, and Jake, they ain't going to work together.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm feeling pretty confident about that, which makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it was a fair selection.
absolutely.
He picked the right people,
I do too.
Totally.
but he didn't have to say why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
And I also was wondering, like, could he and did he think about saying, Jeff, I don't need to take a third person.
Oh.
I'll just go. We'll have a date. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Probes,
Yeah.
you want to come?
Everything's up for negotiation, he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then
Said
you're
he went
like,
on a 2-on-1 bachelor date.
So should he have said, you know what? Forget the helicopter ride. We'll take a boat, but it'll just be the two of us. Like that's the compromise of Probes.
Yeah, I guess he would want something back.
Yeah, he'd want something
that.
back.
Yeah.
That's maybe the
Yeah.
helicopter. Probes gets to go.
Yeah, you
whip
gotta swim
around.
though.
Yeah, right.
when Jeff was describing this, worth playing for, I was like, no, I wouldn't want to go on this. It's just like a sandbar in the middle of the ocean. I was like, where's the shade?
They used the shade from the helicopter.
I know that, but it's just like,
Smart.
it's like, what if I have to shit? Like, where am I going? Like, it's just awkward.
You
It's
can take
weird.
an aqua dump. That's
Yeah.
what you can do. Everywhere.
I mean,
Anywhere.
It was
know,
surrounded
just
with
roll.
coral and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, this is
Well, have
kind
you
of
ever
like.
been in a helicopter?
I have not. So okay, the
That's
helicopter
fun.
that
It's
ride,
very fun.
absolutely.
I didn't puke.
Congratulations, you're in the minority apparently.
I guess so, yeah. Although these three didn't puke, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
they
going
had the
on.
time of their lives on the helicopter, and you like to eat, but after what day are we on? Like 23 days.
22.
I keep hearing about this goddamn sanctuary, and now you're going to send me to the middle of the fucking ocean, man? It's like I've been more sand and more sun and more ocean. That's all I've had for 23 days.
That's true. I wouldn't mind a hut.
Yeah. What's going on at the sanctuary right now? That's what I want to know.
It's good
Fucking
points.
the staff party is happening, guys. We can't. We got to send you to the middle of the ocean.
It's literally booked.
Rap party started in the season.
Drew starts to whine about not getting picked after they sort of take off. I will say, like, I know we hear it in this episode from Katurah pointing out, like, she is the third wheel on this date, but, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, besides her saying this on day 22, there's been nothing about these two lovebirds,
No.
which are openly showing how much they care about each other, how much they're a duo, taking each other on things, the flirting that goes on nonstop, both at camp and in challenges. But they haven't, like, I can't believe we haven't had a confessional from Jake going. I mean, what the hell? We gotta break this up, or somebody going.
No smooches.
Compared to like Matt and Franny the season before,
Right.
where it was just like they were just making eyes at each other, and they're like, "Oh, you got to knock this off.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like voted out and blah blah blah."
So,
But,
I mean,
yeah, they
maybe
don't
that's
seem-
happening, and the edit is not showing us any of that.
Well, they're openly holding hands on the against with a foe. She's not in the Reba 4. You
No,
know,
I'm saying
so.
why the edit isn't showing us people
Oh,
like
I know.
Katurah and other people.
Yeah.
Going, what the hell's going
You're
on
right.
here?
You're right.
What a
We
power
gotta
couple.
split 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
very odd. Very odd.
We
But
gotta
I
we
think
gotta
it's-
sand split them up.
I think it's Dee's Dee's doing. She seems to me like she would be smart enough to say, keep this under wraps.
Yeah.
We don't want this getting out. She knew coming in, she said it on this episode, I knew coming in this would be my weakness. Getting into a showmance.
Yeah.
So she's probably like, if I do, which I'm not going to, but I'm definitely going to, can't tell anybody. That's the only way it makes sense. Austin obviously would tell everybody.
Yes. But like JD said, I mean, they're openly holding hands, and they're always
only
hugging.
only in
and
the
they are-
helicopter.
They are flirting a lot, like during challenge, even in
During
this episode.
challenges,
yeah.
absolutely.
There's a lot.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go back to camp with the losers there. Drew and Julie bond over having thrown up in a helicopter before, as I said.
Sour grapes. Holy.
Yeah, Drew throws the pot lid. He's pissed about babysitting.
I watched that 3 times.
Yeah.
Fuck, so good. See, such a skinny guy throw such a heavy item. The distance, just the fury of it. Yeah,
That thing
it
was heavy, as we said last week.
Respect.
And then Julie and Jake are looking for peppers.
Hey, we're looking for peppers.
But they're not.
So funny, man.
I know, he is amazing. And then the helicopter does a savage flyover, and Drew is just fuming down on the beach. Probst was talking about this on his podcast, the idea to shoot this, how hilarious it is. And it was. I love it.
Oh, it's too
More
good.
of this.
Oh,
where a guy's
totally.
just livid already, and then, here comes the helicopter.
The others are like, wait.
I know.
Like, whoa, helicopter. He's double teapot. These fools.
Oh, man.
I love the weird line about I've been scraping this pot for every day for an hour kind of thing, and it's like, hey, yeah, but we're on Survivor, right? Like, it's like, yeah, but I'm scrubbing pots on Survivor. Okay, but we're still on Survivor.
So we get the scene where they're on the sandspit by the helicopter having their, I don't know, what was it? Charcuterie, I guess.
Yeah,
More
you
charcuterie.
they didn't show
blue
the food.
cheese was there was a shot of blue cheese.
Oh, holy shit, I didn't see. I missed that.
Well, Nora noted. She's like, blue cheese.
Yeah, there was a plate
fuck.
of pretty melty cheese. It was getting warm out there.
Sorry, but blue cheese with no wine. I didn't see any wine.
I didn't see any wine that could have been in the cups they were drinking, and
guess.
and a lot of people pointing out no bread. He couldn't even make a sandwich.
Get the. This is the worst. This is the worst.
They're like
reward.
literally mocking him openly. Here's meats. Here's cheese. There ain't no bread, buddy. I don't think there was.
I didn't see any bread.
No. So
Still better than a single chicken, though.
Oh, you like this more?
Oh, I would much rather have the charcuterie plate than the one chicken, no sides.
Give me that
I think
chicken.
I'd want the chicken protein,
Yeah.
but I guess there was meat. Couture talks about being the third wheel. We get Dee and Austin holding hands and all that, and we get some like vacation-y resort elevator music here, JD. I don't know if
Yes.
you noticed.
Yeah.
And this is happening while Dee, she's talking about her feelings for Austin, and I think even a producer
Yeah.
is like, you're acting a little bit,
like him?
little bit smitten. Yeah, it's like, it's like in high school or whatever, grade school, like the whole like, do you have a crush on so and so? I was waiting for that little piece of paper thing to fold. Do you like me? What do you call that thing?
I don't know what they're called. I know exactly what you're
Everybody knows what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
They still make them. I think they're called. You might call it a fortune teller.
though. Okay,
okay.
yeah, that makes
They're
sense.
still out though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and then we get some Austin flashback photos where he's looking a little chubby.
Yeah.
Had the acne. Look at this guy now. He's
Bit
a
of a
stud.
dork. The guy's a stud now, but and I think he thinks that D is slightly out of his league, maybe a little bit, and that might be.
First hot
Okay.
girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Probably.
what
Yeah,
it
maybe.
to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose her, so you got to tell her everything. And she's like, "I've had a million of you, young boy."
But she's into him.
She's definitely
is,
into him.
She's like blushing when she's talking to the producer.
Yeah, but she's also like, guess what? We've actually only been together for 21 days.
Yeah.
Right.
She can keep perspective.
Yes.
Right. It's. I think she's had a boyfriend.
Yes.
That's I think Tracy's 100% right. She's also playing Survivor. And Austin was playing Survivor, and now it
And then he
seems
fell
like
in love,
he's
man.
on Love Island.
This is
or
way more
whatever.
important.
Hey, man, I said it last week. I am 100% in. I'm shipping these two. But she was definitely got her head in the game. That's it.
I was thinking watching this episode and then thinking back to the comparisons to Boston Rob and Amber. Remember, they literally showed us that in a, I guess, whatever you want to call it, like a flashback.
Flashback, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why did they do that? They did that for one of two reasons, right? One, these two, Dee and Austin, they end up like they're the new Boston Rob and Amber, at least moving forward through the end of this game, maybe sitting there at the end, maybe one of them winning it and the other being ecstatic for them and them getting together in real life. Like,
Yeah.
there's that. Or, and it's much more juicier, the idea of like, oh yeah, it could be this.
Right.
And you may want to hope it's this, but it's going to be a backstab from one of them to actually try and win the game.
Well, it was.
Yeah. Well, it's not there yet. It's not done yet. They're both still in the game.
They're both still in the game, but
Because I don't believe, and I know we have a comment, like, I don't think Austin's chances of winning this game ended last night. I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Why couldn't he get there with Katura and Jake?
He totally could.
He'd win the game in a heartbeat.
I disagree.
You don't think he'd beat those two at the end?
I think if those two make it to the end, they made it to the end for a good reason, and particularly Jake would be pulling a big move to get rid of D, who's been in charge of the game.
Be a big move, sure, okay.
Meanwhile,
okay.
Austin's last two moves have been using his idols that he came into the merge with completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also had a good game up until now. I mean, he did get enraged over a sandwich, and he ended up making the amulet an actual idol.
Didn't do anything with it.
But hold on, if he's there at the end with Jake and Katura, you don't think all 3 Reba members would vote for him? I mean, that's 3 votes there.
I do.
I do as well.
Maybe.
And he still needs to pick up a couple, but okay. But okay, this is great. I love this. The D definitely got the best of him last night. He looked stronger 2 episodes ago, his chances to win the game.
Yeah, he's melting down. He's blowing it here. This is a fourth quarter collapse.
Yeah. I agree with you there, but this could be the slap in the face that he needs to be like, oh shit, I'm playing Survivor. I got to get rid of this girl.
It has to be for him,
Yeah, totally.
He has to take her out, beat her in fire making, whatever.
Yeah.
To probably win. Look, again, I want to make it clear. If he's there at the end with her, I don't see him beating her. Yeah. But I just don't think like it's over because I think he could still get to the final. The D could be gone. I mean, she's obviously a threat. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're stupid if they don't realize that at this point.
Yeah.
But there's 2 of them, Julie and D. But there's 5 left. Oh, somebody's going out in fire. It's going to be great. Day 22. It's still day 22, guys. Oh, wow. Jake goes idol hunting, and he finds a clue, and the idol is in the tribe raft.
Right.
Which they are equipped with. I guess we have seen them on it.
Yeah, they've gone fishing on it, but I forgot about the raft.
Yeah, he forgets about the raft. But anyway, it's in like a special compartment, and Jake decides to strip down to his underwear because he told them he's going to go change. And he eventually, in his underwear, finds this little compartment here and pulls it out. Ta-da! He drops it, ta-da. And he talks about wanting to get innovative with the idol. He realizes, I mean, I got to do something here. I can't just save myself like this vote or something. I got to do something big with this idol to give myself a chance to win this game. I'm still a threat. I'm a wolf in goat's clothing. That's where we get the line. Jake finding the idol. Are you excited he's going to pull something off with it next week?
I was definitely excited, and then he didn't. You know, he came back to the rocks plan.
Yeah.
Guys, got one move, man.
He loves those rocks.
Same person. Hey, come on, trust me. This time it's gonna work. I'm gonna talk him into it. No, it didn't work. He should have used it last night. I think that would have been his best chance of pulling a move.
Right.
He could have actually gotten D out. Like that would have been amazing, man. That would actually be a big move. That counts.
Well, D1.
Yeah, D1's. You're right. D1 immunity. He could have got Julie out.
Yes.
But he could have made something happen. But instead, he really just saved it so he could get to the final 4.
I was terrified, and I know I'm jumping right to the end. When Probe says you're headed to a new island, that Jake's going to be like, oh, God damn it. He left it back in the old camp. I really want that to be true, but we'll see here. JD, thoughts?
I mean, the problem here is that Jake thinks that he orchestrated the Drew move, does he not? Like, didn't he go around going, yeah, let's vote for Drew. D's going to think it's her orchestrating this, but it's actually me. But he's like a kid with a pretend steering wheel in a car. You know what I mean? Like,
you're driving,
it's just
buddy.
like, hey, we better turn left here, buddy. Okay, and you know, that's how it feels to me, and that's probably why he didn't use the idol, I would think. But again, I agree with you, Trey. He should have made a move last night. Perfect opportunity to get rid of one of the Rebas, but he didn't, and so yeah, he'll probably play it on himself, and he'll get to the end. I don't know. This guy is just desperate. He's desperate to do something big. He knows how late it is in the game, and he just.
I can at least respect that he's like.
He's aware.
He knows that if I go to the end without where I am currently in this game, that I'm not gonna win.
Yeah.
So I gotta do something. Now I have this at least arsenal to try something with. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what's he gonna? I don't know. He should have done it last night. I'm with you. But what's he gonna do moving forward here? And then it also gets tougher where you're like, well, yeah, but I could still go to the end if he's vulnerable next week, and he might just play it for himself. Or next Tribal Council. It's not looking good for Jakey Boy. No. That's what we're getting at.
No.
It's going to be tough.
He's having fun, though. He's on Survivor.
He's having a blast. He's having a blast. Day 23, Immunity Challenge. Brand new challenge. using 1 foot on the end of like a hinged beam. You got to keep a ball up on the other end. Sort of fun, I guess. New, at least. Julie drops first. Jake goes next. Really quick, like 2 minutes into the challenge.
Yeah.
Couture gets a little sloppy. She drops. It's down to Drew, Dee, and Austin. Drew bounces around for what feels like minutes. I don't know, just the editing on that one. It was like, Dee and Austin are barely moving, at least through the first part of this challenge. And again, Drew is like literally saving it somehow every time, but like looks crazy.
He was like a drunken master kung fu film throughout this entire thing. It's like he's barely keeping things under control while almost falling over. That's kind of how he was in the reward challenge as well on the thing.
Yeah.
But it was hard to look at Drew and the way he was balancing when he's very close to Dee, and she like didn't move. She didn't move a muscle. She wasn't even touching her hips. Just arms straight down.
Yeah.
Didn't move. Toe rooting her to the spot. Meanwhile, Drew was like, ah!
Yeah, so Drew makes it at least 12 minutes. He drops. It's down to the 2 lovebirds. There's a lot of flirting going on here, you know, surrounded by smack talk, okay? It's like they're both in the same. And then we're told that Dee and Austin have beaten the Dream Team's record of 21 minutes. They have the Dream Team, they call them, for those that don't know, the people that try these challenges out before the actual castaways, and I guess somebody lasted 21 minutes or so. Well, they beat that. Austin finally drops. His leg doesn't seem to work anymore, and Dee, just like a rock, barely moved at all. She wins her second immunity, and going to commercial, Drew says he wants Julie to go this time. No notes, no editing. And tonight she goes. Immunity challenge, JD. You like this one? Is this a keeper?
I'm not crazy about it, to be honest. I did enjoy the flailing of Drew. I loved the moment, just the way they're standing, and then Austin going, "Hey, what's going on over there?" It's like a guy on his porch, you know, when he's talking about Drew. Well, what's happening over there?
Hold on, buddy.
But you know, it's not the hurry up and stand, like ready, set, stand. I don't love them. Like
ready, set, stand.
Ready, set, stand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Be a statue.
Yeah.
I don't love them, but it's fine, I guess. I don't know.
It didn't hit me until right this second. It's almost like last night's episode could have been sponsored by Captain Morgan.
Oh yeah,
definitely a Captain Morgan stance.
You had the barrel in the first challenge, and then you had the stance in the second.
It's great. It's great.
I mean, would you be mad if it was? I wouldn't. I would love it.
I wish Captain Morgan was flying the helicopter.
It would be a tall ship, though. It wouldn't be a helicopter.
Right.
We're taking a tall ship to a sandbar.
Sail the seas.
We've crashed.
I did like Dee trash talking Austin throughout this. Basically, like, you're gonna fall. I can tell you're gonna fall right now, and she was a stone out there. That was incredible.
She's extrememely good at challenges. I mean, we are down to 3 really good people at challenges. Austin has done really well in a lot of these. Dee, of course, and Julie.
Julie's done great.
Outside of this one, this was one of the first ones where she really, really struggled.
Yeah.
Okay, day 23. Plotting and scheming here. Austin to Dee. They are still flirting. I'm going to beat you next time. Okay. Ooh, okay. All right. Maybe a little foreshadowing. Who knows? Maybe in the fire-making challenge. Who knows? Jake pitches his plan to Julie about blindsiding Drew. This is what you were talking about, JD. Drew talks about needing to be in control. So this is Jakey Boy's idea. We're going to blindside Drew. He talks to Couture about the plan, and I was like, uh-oh, we're getting the dum-dum music. Oh, no. No, Jake is actually playing the game, and they're still giving him the dum-dum music. And then Couture and Dee, they meet up, and they do the old 1, 2, 3, we're going to say a name. And they both say Drew, and they burst out laughing.
So loudly. Like, they're in this shelter. Like, sometimes these moments...
Drew can't hear him. He's got shit in his ears.
True.
You got those filthy ears. That was a great scene, though, with, like, Jake breaking it down to Couture, like, you just can't tell Dee.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
It was very funny.
Too good.
So
Couture, though, man. habitual bean spiller.
Oh, yeah.
If you
she
tell
can't
her
help
something,
herself.
she is telling somebody
Oh.
else right away. That is how you get that third place prize.
Yeah. She's still there, though.
She's coming for
My
third.
pick is still alive.
You get a bigger paycheck at third.
Drew tells D that maybe Austin would play his amulet idol on him. So there's this part as we get closer to the end of this episode. Like, if this makes its way back to Austin, would he play it for Drew, knowing that would be the vote? We also get D and Austin chilling down at the beach, and she is contemplating telling him the real plan. I enjoyed this struggle for D here about, well, he did it for me. Should I do it for him? No, I want him to win $1 million. But the idea of like the contradiction between like who she is in the real world and who she is in this game of Survivor and the morals.
Beautiful stuff.
It was great.
I wish I had not seen last week's episode until, I got to catch up real quick and watch it beforehand because it'd be like watching a sequel.
Right.
It was too good, especially like I mentioned earlier, the way it started with D lying to Austin after he had just told her the truth, and it just like sets the table for it to pay off down the line. The storytelling was great.
It was good.
Agree.
Night 23, Tribal Council. The jury seems very happy D is rocking that necklace. I made note of that. They were pretty pumped that she had it on. So, okay, that's interesting. Austin is asked about who he took and didn't take on the reward challenge. Drew and Jake talk about how they're cool babysitters. There's a lot of joking going on. And then Probst is like, enough jokes. You notice that?
We're at tribal council, kids.
Good, okay?
Yeah. Drew talks about the $1 million, and we get into this whole thing about our alliances locked in. I think this is Probst, and man, is he probing on this one. He really is like, hey, what's going on with this re before? Are you guys turning on each other here tonight or not? Drew does a limbo analogy. People seem to they didn't mind it. What'd you think of the latest analogy?
I didn't totally get it.
I didn't either.
Didn't really get it.
I thought it started strong, and then I thought it really petered out to the point where I was like,
Yeah.
what?
She's got a low bar.
Well, you got to go under the stick.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, but then he started talking about seeing past it.
Right,
he started,
yeah, that's right,
Maybe
yeah.
it was edited weird. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We get Drew up in the voting booth. Can't go to the end against Mom. He's voting for Julie. And then we come back. Does anyone want to play an idol or an advantage? Austin steps up. I'm going to play it. And there is a little bit, you're like, whoa. Is he playing it for himself or is he going to play it for Drew? Did he find out? You're starting to wonder, are we going to get like a flashback or something? Mm-hmm. And in the end, plays it on himself. Jake sits on his, or he forgot it back at camp. Who knows? Drew voted out 4-2, and he is pissed.
He was mad.
And I love this. I love these players getting voted out, like Kelly and Drew and whoever else. Like, be mad.
Yeah.
Good. That means you wanted to win, and that's great to see.
Absolutely.
And you got here, Austin, it looks like he's trying to get an answer from D here, right? They keep showing him looking over, and she's like blinders on. She's not really looking at him, or at least what they showed us.
Yeah.
And then finally Probst tells them, you're headed to a new island.
Right.
And Jake maybe has his idol.
Whoa!
The thing with Drew, obviously he was going to be pissed, and I love that he's pissed. I love how passionate they are. But he was just so cocky, not only throughout the whole episode, but at Tribal Council, saying like, "Hey man, if I make it through tonight, I'm top 3."
Yeah.
Which he may have been right about that.
Sure.
To be honest, but I don't know. I mean, they probably say this shit all the time that gets cut out, right? But it just seemed like the producers took a literal just Schadenfreude, let's portray Drew just a happy, confident guy walking right into the thresher. Sometimes they do this,
yes.
right? Where it's just this guy is so goddamn cocky, and he's just gonna walk off a cliff, and it's like watching an accident that's about to happen, and it's great. I love it. I love how mad he was, and I just thought that the producers may have did him a little dirty. I don't know,
Yeah, you're right. This is nothing new for Survivor.
Right.
Someone who's confident, says they're going to go far, they're going to win this thing, and then you chop their legs out from under them.
But it just this seemed extreme. I've never seen this much talk about how he's talking about it earlier in the episode. Everything's gone to plan. Everything's perfect. We could be the greatest duo of all time. All of that is in the episode, and including his soliloquy. right before the limbo analogy about, hey man, I'm going to top 3. Like, like it's just, I don't know. I just felt bad for the guy. But again, and then his confessional, just like, I haven't changed. This is bullshit.
Also, respect to that.
Yeah, totally.
I've been out on an island for 20 days. What changed about me? Oh, it's so good. Yeah, any thoughts on the final tribal council here, or the tribal council?
Yeah, I personally never thought that Austin was going to be playing the idol for Drew, because just looking at Dee, you could tell she didn't tell him.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious to me that she was keeping something from him, and was hoping.
You don't think next week we find out that Austin had been tipped by Dee, but still decided not to save him? You don't think that's? You think it's more likely that she just did not tell him?
I think she's a great cutthroat player, and he wasn't able to be, and nor was Drew. It just shows. This whole tribal council kind of showed me how good of a social player Dee is compared to Drew, because I feel like Drew has been a really good strategic player. Like, he's been a huge part of figuring out the numbers for a lot of these vote outs that the Reba 4 was able to pull off, but he obviously didn't have a good of a read on who's actually close to each other, because he still thinks Austin was his number 1.
Yeah.
But guess what? Austin's in love with somebody else, and he's spilling all your secrets.
Yeah. What's sad is Couture and Jake didn't team up, and go to Drew, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they should want Drew at the end with them. Like, they don't have a chance really to win this game anyway, but Drew of the 4 in Reba 4, he's the least liked, I think. Respected from the jury.
I mean, yes.
Right?
You would think that. I mean, from our perspective, absolutely. He's the least likable of the 4 of them. I mean, Julie, Dee, and Austin are very, very likable players, at least. And Drew's just sort of like a curmudgeon, great narrator, great strategist, as you said.
And they did seem always concerned, like, if he's at the final 3, the guy can talk.
Yeah, they think that he can talk.
I think they always over-exaggerate.
Yeah, I think that too.
They
were always wowed anytime he came with an analogy.
Yeah.
He's the only one that ever had one.
Yeah,
so they're like, this guy's a genius.
This guy's going to win. Yeah. He's going to win this game with analogies at the end. I mean, you would if Probst was the one awarding the $1 million, but I'm always like, they're not going to care. In fact, they're probably going to hate it.
Right.
They're like, okay, we've heard 100 analogies.
Sword of Damocles around me again.
I mean, this just speaks to how great of a player Dee is, because everybody's perceiving Drew as the big threat, or even Julie, and she may be well liked, but I mean, Dee doesn't even seem to have her hands dirty at all. Like, everybody loves. She's so under the radar, but orchestrating everything. Like, she still voted for Julie and got her to act with her and stuff. Like, and she's having an open relationship and nobody's saying anything about it. It's just fucking crazy. Like,
she told Julie to her face, he's my number 1.
Yeah.
But she's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then Couture's like, actually, I'm your number 1. You know who is Dee's actual number 1? Dee.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe they'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why Couture is not making moves against her, because she's like, all right, I'm Dee's number 1, or she seems.
You and a lot of people have compared the way Dee's played this season to Parvati, and I think there are some similarities, especially when you get into the romance and the showmance with Austin. But somebody pointed this out. I forget who. She's playing a very Kim Spradlin game too.
Yeah.
This idea that she's she's just very, very likable, but is orchestrating everything.
Yeah.
And can somehow sort of just get away with like backstabbing and blindsiding, or at least it feels that way. Maybe it comes back to bite her in the ass.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the episode. Man, running along here. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, some great questions in Tree Mail about this episode and moving forward to the finale.
It's holiday time, and for Christmas, I do a Santa share with the family. Give one good gift. Don't have to give hundreds of gifts, so I love that. You can just focus on spending time with loved ones. That's what it's about. I can't wait to pick one thing. That's a nice feeling. What I like, whether or not your family gives gifts during the holidays, you get to define how you give to yourself, what you like to do. It's nice to give to others, but you have to give to yourself. Take some time. You can do that through BetterHelp. Therapy is great for setting boundaries, simply dialing into the things you want to do. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma, it is for everyone. I've been in both places, and therapy always helps me. If you're looking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/NoDunks today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/NoDunks.
I'm going to say something that I'm not sure is true, but it feels like it's true. December is the month with the most Shopify cha-chings.
Yeah, probably.
Holiday season, shopping season, Shopify season. Must be cha-ching season as well. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders in December? The cha-ching season stage? Shopify's there for you to help you grow, whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. You can sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, not to mention millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/NoDunks, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/NoDunks now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/NoDunks.
Okay, still here in the Classic Factory. Let's get into some tree mail. Some great questions from the people out there by way of Twitter. First one from Survivor Now podcast. Is Dee lined up perfectly to win this game? Is she the favorite? Katurah, Julie, and Austin see her as their number one, and the jury had a strong positive reaction to her showing up to Tribal with the immunity necklace. You think she's at the top of the favorites right now to win this game?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think if she makes it to final Tribal Council, she will win. Mm-hmm. But I also don't think the favorite going into the finale, they don't always win. And usually they don't win, especially in the new era.
Good point.
In season 41, Ricard was kind of in the lead going into the finale. He went out at 5. Season 42, Omer went out at 6. I think he was probably playing the best game up until that point.
Yep.
Season 43, Carla went out at 5. Jesse went out at Fire. And season 44, Carson went out at Fire, but Jam, Carson, and Caroline kind of all played similar games.
Yeah.
But just because you're winning going into the finale doesn't mean anything.
Good point. Got to get there.
Yeah.
JD, though, you have Dee as your favorite right now of these 5 left.
Yeah, I agree with Trey. If she makes it to the end, I think she's winning. I can't. Yeah, she's winning. She's winning. If she makes it to the end. But
Even if she's there with Julie, let's say 3 of the Reba 4 get there somehow at the end. She still would be the favorite of that bunch.
I think so. I think that she's eloquent enough to let people know that she was the one behind everything, and I think that everybody on the jury will see that. Yeah, it's hard to say. But she seems to be playing the best game.
Okay. Anthony L. writes in, what is it with these recent showmances and almost costing their partner safety? Franny could have dropped out. Remember, it would have saved Matt. Austin could have dropped out, guaranteeing Dee was safe. And he had the idol for himself. Is it all just competition? Pointing out that when it got down to the 2 of them, he does have the idol. He could have just given it to Dee, but didn't. They battled it out. Didn't matter. Dee won anyway.
Yeah.
You think that's just what it is? Like, these people are competitive people, and it's like, yeah, I want to beat you. You want to beat me? Let's go here.
There's nothing like immunity on Survivor. It means you're not going home.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure Austin would have liked to been able to have immunity and then had the idol to play around with as well, right? Like that would have been an even better spot for him to be in. But the Franny thing is still interesting from back in the day. That's how Matt got voted out, that and him leaving his bag behind and forgetting his idol that he needed. But there's a reason that people say don't get into a showmance, because you're going to be put into a situation where you're choosing between one of the two.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Austin had went on to win that challenge last night, and then maybe some whispers going around that people want to start focusing on D? Hey, we could take her out right here. And what would he have done with that amulet? Would he have put it on her? Still given it to Drew?
Yeah.
Kept it as a souvenir? That would have been fascinating to see, but didn't matter in the end because D beat his ass.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything that Trey said, but there's also the cachet of winning an immunity, of being on TV, it's like a lifelong dream for a lot of these people. It's just I'm not here. Yes, this is great. We're flirting and I'm having a little showmance, but when it comes down to it, no matter what, I'm trying to win this immunity.
Yeah.
That's at least in Franny's point of view from last season.
And it was sort of cool when we got to the three of them there at the end, including Drew, when they were battling it out. I think Probe says they all have an immunity win right now.
Right.
Whoever gets this one is going to take the lead in that regard. I know it doesn't matter as much, but it still counts for something.
Yeah.
To be at the end and say, I won 2 or 3 or whatever it is. I think it helps. Doesn't hurt usually.
No.
Matt H writes in, Jake should have played his idol on Julie, so it looked like he was the mastermind behind the Drew back door. But instead, he'll play it on himself next tribal and cement his GOAT status for the final 3. Jakey boy just blew his only chance at $1 million. Again, that's Matt writing in that he botched it last night.
He did botch it last night. But I don't think that was his only chance at $1 million. I think he has one more chance
to blow it.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays it on himself and that's the whole move, then like it doesn't really matter. He's not going to win that way. But if somehow he pulls off an immunity win and then he has the necklace that nobody knows about and he uses that to get D out or save Katura or whatever, whatever move he pulls off, if he can actually do a move, I think he can still. I think he can beat Austin. I think he can beat Katura. That's it.
One thing, at least right now, he's got going for him is nobody knows about this idol.
Yeah.
They don't know he has it in his crotch. Or he did have it in his crotch.
Yes.
He did have it on him last night. I didn't think about that. That's good because again, definitely be more impactful if he got rid of a big name like a D, an Austin, a Julie, let's say.
Right.
You know, we're not going to include Couture there. Either by playing it on himself because all the votes were going on him, or by like saving somebody to engineer it. But it will be a surprise. It'll be a big wow moment in theory to the people remaining in the game and the jury. So, I mean, will it even still be enough to win $1 million in the end? That's where we don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
you got to try.
yeah, you got to try. I don't know if he's well liked on the jury as well. Like, I mean, he's just Bruce does. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Bruce may talk to everybody and say, this guy's awesome.
He can't have many enemies, though, because he hasn't voted anybody out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you kind of need to Chris Underwood it. Like, play it 100% perfectly. Like, use your idol well, and then probably take on D and fire and beat
take
her
out 2 giants here. Yeah.
That's the way he does it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Jakey boy.
Go get it,
Good
Jakey
luck.
boy. Graphic Mark writes, after watching Jake shove the idol into his underwear, I was wondering why don't players bring special shirts, pants, socks, underwear with hidden pockets so that they can store idols, parchments, etc. easily. I feel like it might work. That's from Graphic Mark. JD. I don't think they're allowed to, is my...
yeah, that's probably the case.
I think the wardrobe department, you give them a bunch of options and then they go through them and say yes, no, yes. They probably check for things like this.
How closely do they check, do you think? Do you think they're like literally just holding up to the light garments of
I don't know, but they
clothes
don't want you bringing in matches.
That's true.
Little knives and food. So they must check him to some extent.
And nothing wrong with hiding an idol under your balls. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Those underwear that he was wearing were perfect. So they're boxer briefs.
Yeah.
They just slide right under the perineum there. It ain't going anywhere.
Whoa! Yeah, Jeff has to handle those though. Huh?
I know.
Well, he should make Jeff come and get it. Probst would never.
Probst would never.
Awesome.
He would never.
Never.
Matt B writes in, besides searching for an idol, what task or activity would you prefer to do stripped down to your underwear?
Specifically, Survivor.
I think in life or Survivor, what would you, or what do you like to do stripped down in your underwear to, or would you like to try?
I would like to Survivor fish in my underwear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that's natural. You might go full nude.
Yeah.
Lure him in.
Did Ozzy ever go full nude when he was on the island? Did a lot after.
Yeah. I don't think he did.
think so.
I'm picturing red board shorts
Yeah,
that he loved
I
so
think you're right.
much.
Richard Hatch is the only full nude
Oh,
that I can
right.
think of.
Yeah. I think I'd want to go full nude. I want to do a Richard Hatch when I'm out there. Just to keep
Go
the
in Hatch
editors
mode.
busy. You know what I mean? The blur guy.
God, it must have been infuriating.
If you're the
Well, it came back to bite him in the ass, literally, the next go around
what?
for Hatch. I think it became a whole thing with Sue. Him being nude.
Oh,
and how,
right. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
How awkward it was.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
No.
I just want to get some work for the blur guy. I just want to employ a guy. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have so you want to do it out there, JD? You just want to. I mean, that's you want to go full nude.
Well, now that you mention it.
I'm asking for a never nude.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I would probably be in my boxers most of the time out there when it was hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you're talking regular life?
Yeah, regular life.
I said one of my neighbors last night, it was like dark, close to 0 degrees
Yeah, it was chilly
Celsius,
here,
no shirt. Not an in-shape fellow either.
What was he doing outside?
He was taking his garbage bins in.
Ah, who cares?
That's fine.
Yeah, he's working up a sweat.
Heavy garbage.
I was jealous of him.
You were? You
A
can
little
do
bit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We got one more here from Zach, always coming through with great questions. If Emily doesn't return, as she said during her exit interviews last week, is Caleb the only lock returnee from this season? There are a few other possible returnees, like Drew, who is a great narrator, but Caleb is the only guarantee, in my opinion. You agree with that? Caleb the only one as a returnee lock?
Lock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock-wise. I think there are other people who could get invited back for sure. Like, I would have never had Kelly Wentworth as a returnee after her first season. What was her name? Corinne was another woman who I was surprised came back. There have been returnees who I'm like, really? And I think there could be some from this season for sure. But like lock-wise, Caleb is a guy that I would want to see 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think D's a lock.
I think D is almost, I mean, she's a lock if she doesn't win the game, really.
Yeah.
Because they don't like to bring back, like, the winners.
Right.
So if she comes up short here in final 5, 4, whatever, I think she'd be an absolute lock if she wanted to play again. Just because she's so good at it. Emily probably would have been on a lot of people's list, but says she doesn't want to. So
Well,
she got a new house to worry about. Give it time. Give it time.
Give it time.
Well, let's hear from everybody out there in the live tribe right now on YouTube. Locks to you in terms of coming back. I personally don't see Drew coming back. No. You know, they're not going to like when he said, well, I didn't change.
Maybe they want him to come out and change.
It takes longer. He needs to play the original 39
right.
days.
39 days.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
right.
Think they'd ever bring back Bruce?
God, no. Not
Third
now.
time?
No.
Third time's
Unless
a
it's
charm for Bruce?
literally the season's called Third Time's a Charm.
Third time's a charm. They'd be all mad at him. They're like, he was only out here for 12 minutes the first time. That doesn't count. Not a 3-timer.
That shouldn't count.
I would love to see Bruce and like Katura or whoever he butted. It was Katura.
Yeah.
On like the Amazing Race together.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that would.
Bruce on The Amazing Race, I could see that.
Yeah, it would be. I wouldn't watch it. I'd be like, oh, that's nice. Bruce is on the Amazing Race, but I'm not watching that show.
It was the finale last night.
Was it?
They kept telling us,
Oh, okay.
I have no idea who won.
90 minutes of that show.
I think there's a son and dad combo that were in the running to win.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
No clue if they won.
The dad, I believe, is deaf. I could be wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
there you go.
Good. I'm glad that the Amazing Race is still happening. I hope Bruce goes on it.
But you don't think he'll be back to Survivor?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He's had 2 chances.
Sort of one, but
Yeah. Yeah.
It was 2. Technically 2. Okay, let's take our final break. When we come back, we'll look at the Make Your Picks No Buffs Survivor Fantasy Pool as we get ready to make our predictions for the finale. Don't go anywhere.
New sponsor alert, guys.
Woo-hoo!
Z-Biotics, my new friend. And it's my favorite kind of product, an elixir. Guys, over the years, my constitution has become, well, I guess you could call it delicate. I have a delicate constitution. I can't drink like I used to. Sometimes I'll have like just one beer, one glass of wine, and I'm completely useless the next day. Well, Z-Biotics has arrived to help with that. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's called It's called acetaldehyde. I looked it up. I don't know how to say it. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for feeling crappy the next day. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to take Z-Biotics pre-alcohol and make it your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. And it arrived just in time for the No Dunks Christmas party, guys, where El Vino did flow, as well as Old Fashions and Negronis. But, I also squeezed in a little gin and tonic there at the end. It's a tud, as my mother likes to call it. Totally unnecessary drink. But I drank a Z-Biotic before all that, and I was playing pickleball at 8 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
Yeah. So shout out to Z-Biotic. Go to zbiotics.com/nodunks to get 15% off your first order when you use No Dunks at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times.
Yes, good times were had there on Friday night. A tud, I like that. I'm adding that to the lexicon. Some good comments here from the live tribe about potential returnees from this season. Rachel says, Sabaya's a lock for second chances. I don't mind that. Trying to Art says, I can see Jake as a character pick, like Coach in Heroes versus Villains. You know what? I'm on board Jake coming back. He's just hilarious.
He's funny.
Put him on every
He's
season
funny.
for all I care about. Anthony says Hannah will come back if the first reward is a vape. And then some love for Kelly as a possible returnee, which I think is a decent pick.
Yeah.
It's not all the people that return are just people that made it to the final 5. There are people that go out like, Caleb, I guess we were saying anyway.
Yeah.
He goes out before her. So, good stuff there. Yeah. Okay, make your picks. Reminder from Chris, guys. You are voting 3 times when we get to the finale here, all right? You're going to be voting for who will be eliminated from the final 5. You're going to be voting for who will lose fire making. And you're going to be voting for who will win the season. This is heading in to the final episode, December 20th. That's next week. It's right before Christmas, basically. And, I got to make these predictions. So who wants to get us started calling their shot here? We're down to, obviously, Austin, D, Julie. So 3 of the Reba 4 are intact. And then it's Katura, and it's Jakey Boy, who has an idol. So, call your shot here, TK. What you got?
Wow, that's a toughie.
That's
a tough call. Okay, so voted out from the final 5. It's going to be either Julie, D, or Austin.
Okay, you think one
Jake
of
and
those
Katura,
3.
you're safe.
Probably.
I think you're safe.
You're right.
I think those 2 are safe. Give me out, Julie, I guess.
Wow.
Okay.
Final 5.
I went D.
Okay.
That's a good other choice.
Who loses fire making? Who's in fire making?
I got Jake losing because, of course, he's going to put himself or make it so that he's doing fire.
Right.
Because he has to.
Because Jake is, in theory, through to the final 4.
Right.
Because of his idol.
Yeah.
And you think he has to be in
He
it.
absolutely has to put
win it,
himself in He'll be begging the person,
And they'll be like,
please put me in fire making, and then he'll lose because of course he will. It's Jake.
Okay.
That's my hunch.
Okay. And who do you have in the fire making? Is it the Lovebirds going head to head in this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Great
it. I
television.
love it.
Love to
it.
see that. Love to see it.
No, you start first.
No, you start.
You start first. I'm gonna light this fire with the burning heart I have for you.
Austin, you're
Okay.
gone. You're gone at
Whoa.
fire making.
Wow.
You're gone at
Okay.
fire making.
Okay. And then who wins the season? Who would you have in this in your hypothetical here, JD?
I mean, I'm taking D. I like that's what I vote. I know I already voted for her to be voted out, but if she makes it, she's winning. I think.
Okay, and you would have D, I guess.
I got her as
in
the
your run
winner,
through.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
What about
well-
you, Phil?
Well, I've got
I mean,
Katura
Skeets.
winning.
Oh, Katura, because
course.
she's on here. I've got D and Julie still on my team.
I've got D. Austin and Katura.
Woo!
Wow.
I've got Katura and D.
Okay.
So I have two still on my Make Your Picks squad. Also played a bunch of advantages last week
Oh, yeah.
because
Same.
I always forget to do it right till the end. You guys
Yep.
did the same. So I threw double votes down on Drew going home. That was good.
Yep.
Got the plus 30 there. I'm still like in 1200th spot. You
I
guys
made-
said you rised up a
I
little bit.
finally made it into the top half.
Okay.
Nice.
1083. I'm feeling like Jake, ready to play Survivor.
I'm 169.
Whoa! Very nice.
Very nice.
indeed.
Very nice. I will say this, just as a circle back. If I ever go on Survivor and you tell me you're a lawyer, I'm fucking voting you out. All three lawyers are still in the game.
Oh, yeah. We could have our all three lawyers at the
too
end.
funny.
That would be
Too funny.
chef's
It'd be
kiss.
So good.
Very plausible. Very possible.
Honestly, their careers would be on the line, I think. Like if there's the three of them and they're going head to head, like the one that loses, or the two that lose,
Yeah.
or that's
They're barred.
Well,
from the
I mean, that's their
association.
thing. That's this is.
trust these lawyers? They're lying to you.
Anyways, yeah, lawyers, man, get out
Wow.
of here.
I mean, I love Jake. We already said he's great television.
Yeah.
He's a very fun character. Even that confessional last night where he's like talking about the game and about the idol hunting and is suddenly telling us about a play he was in, and then he's like laughing to himself and then he goes right back. Like, so good. Like, he's such good television. But every time he's on the screen, Nora, she's like, how is this guy a lawyer? I don't get it. How is he a lawyer? Come on. Like, and I know it's tough to wrap your head around.
Right.
There's a lot of different kinds of lawyers
Yeah,
out there, you
yeah.
know? Maybe he's not at trials.
I think that's-
Maybe he's checking contracts.
Is it?
That's
Good reader.
I think that's right.
I thought is he not a public defender?
I don't know. Katura's definitely a civil rights attorney. I
know that, but
And Julie's, we don't really. Do we know Julie's?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the lawyer final three would be great.
So good. Just get a wig on Jeff, like an English,
Give him a gavel.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, so a lot of us have D winning. I am, of course, somehow holding out hope that Katura pulls this off. It's not likely. I think her best chance was going with Jake, who she still could, and Drew. I think that the move had to happen, I feel like, last night.
Yeah.
I think Drew had to be a part of the equation.
Yeah.
For Jake and Katura, if I'm being honest. But, Jake could have some huge moves up his sleeve. We'll find out. That's next week. How long's the episode? What is it? 3 hours when we
the
include
normal.
the
It's gonna feel weird to have a normal 3-hour episode for the finale. You know what I mean? Like,
how so?
well, we were used to 90-minute episodes, so
Oh yeah.
it's gonna unfold like a normal finale would.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I forgot about the 90-minute episodes. Just become so used to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so and they usually like the episode goes like almost 2 hours, 15 minutes
Yeah.
or so. Then we take a commercial break and then we do like even if that, sometimes even longer it
Yeah.
feels like. Like
Right.
we don't spend too much time in the what do we even call this thing? The post show?
It's a post show. It's not really a
Reunion?
reunion.
It used
Yeah,
to
it's
be,
not
yeah.
even a reunion anymore.
Yeah,
the
just-
reunion tour between Drew and
That's
Julie.
what it's about.
Yeah, it will be.
We'll all be there.
Okay, I'm holding out hope for Katura, but I will say that Austin wins this game.
Okay.
That'll be my real pick because
Okay.
Katura's like, that's just I want that to happen because that
Right.
was my preseason pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Austin still pulls this out, even though it looked really bad for our guy last night. Real bad. D has got him wrapped around her big toe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I don't know. I think this snaps him into
I just like
reality.
also. I always forget about this part, but you got to win challenges here at the end too.
Yes.
Of course he's going to be one of the favorites to win whatever the hell this thing is. The final 5. They're usually giant obstacle course like things.
Yeah.
He's the most athletic and then probably D right there. So that gets him probably to, the final 4 and he's likely going to be in fire making unless he wins that too, I guess.
They haven't really shown much fire making.
No,
right? Like,
no. The one episode you missed, I think we
showed them actually
they
practicing fire.
Yeah. Who was it?
Early.
Jake and somebody.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't think.
Sitting there with somebody.
Yeah.
Practicing.
Yeah.
I forget who though. Okay, guys, that's next time. Can't wait. We'll be back here on Thursday, December 21st, breaking down the 3-hour season finale of Survivor 45. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to sit here and talk about it with you guys and, of course, everybody in the live tribe and all the podcast listeners. But that's next week. Until then, the tribe has spoken.